right now. So, see.
Got it.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Multi-Dimensions of You. And my name is Jessie Jenkins, and I really and I want to um, welcome you and allow you to understand where this name is coming from. I truly do want you to see that you are not just one thing, one dimension. You are not just an attorney. You are not just a skier or a golfer, or you may be a musician, but you have so many other elements of who you are, and we should not explore these. And many times people do a certain career because of the fact that maybe it was a means to the end for them at the moment. Young families, they need to be making a decent salary. Maybe music has always been something they truly loved, but that was going to be a little harder to bring income easily. That could be so competitive and so on and so forth, and so they've left it behind. However, doesn't mean that you can't revisit that wonderful dream of being in music again, or be in be an attorney when you were a doctor. I've known a lot of people doing that. Maybe they became a doctor because their parents wanted them, or they chose a different path because someone told them that's what they should be doing, but their heart told them that they should be or want to be something else. So I want to expose the fact that you have a choice, and you have a choice to really satisfy your desires, that there is nothing that can hold you back. It's just the passion and
Amen.
the desire, and not quitting on yourself, right? Not quitting on yourself, and satisfying those deep desires that we all may have but think are silly, and listen to that gut feeling, which I call infinite intelligence, or our higher power, or God, or whatever you prefer. But that, listen to that and go with that, because to me, that is what's going to ultimately make you the happiest person ever, because you're doing something you've always wanted to do. And you could do both if you want. We're going to talk about that because I have a wonderful guest today, who, his name is Robert. Um, and we're going
Compton.
to
Yeah.
Compton, of course, Robert Compton. And we're going to talk to him because he's a minister, but he has some other things he has going on as well. And we're going to find out a little bit more about that. So let's get started and rolling away. Okay, so welcome, Robert. Thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed here. You and I have become wonderful friends over the last few months. I think we've known each other for maybe about 6 months. Time flies. I can't even tell you
Right.
exactly, but I think it's about right, right? And we
Yes.
are also both part of a fantastic community we call our family. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit as well. But Robert, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, and how you might have gotten into, affiliate marketing and things like that. So the floor is yours.
All right. Well, first of all, Jesse, thank you very, very much. I'm so honored that that you've allowed me to come on and just express my heart and express my feelings and everything with you guys and your listeners. But like you said, my name's Robert Compton. I always like to say straight out of Compton, but the Texas version, you know. But it's kind of funny, you ask about affiliate marketing. I got into it. It's I guess about a year ago now, because I've always loved doing different things, uh, and I guess to tell you my story, I guess gonna have to go back a little bit. When I was a teenager, which was a long time ago, um, I actually was in the charitable bingo. Uh, I used to help charities
Oh,
raise funds for different projects. Like I would do the fire departments and the community centers and the meals for the elderly and stuff like that to raise funds. So I always loved that part, to where we could actually raise fund and see where funds where you see where people are giving and see how people do that. And I did that for about 18 years until I had a young lady. We called her grandma, and I would always make bingo really, really cheap to play because I wanted as many people as I could that we could get to play and consistently play. But we wanted to make profit on the other side as well. And I figured if I did something good, I always got something from it. And I've always felt that way until this one little lady came up to me and she said, I would rather play bingo than eat. And every
oh,
time I come here, I want to eat, and you give me food. And it just broke my heart that she would spend all of her money, and I was contributing to that addiction. And I prayed, and it was when about the time when my first child was being born. And within a week, God had answered, said, "Okay, we're gonna shift gears. You're making all this money helping people. We're going to shift all that away, and now you got to do something different." And so I always make the joke that I was taking people to hell by creating an addiction for them. So I became a minister to pull them back out. And
interesting,
so,
interesting.
yeah, it's kind of funny. And so I started that back. I want to say now it's been close to 22 years ago.
Wow.
And meanwhile, I was doing real estate and legal and all kinds of other things, just to make ends meet and just make everything work. Still do that today. Seems
Right.
like I'm always looking for something that I can help people and have fun doing it. And when I found
Okay.
affiliate marketing this last year, I I actually stumbled right into it, and all the things that I'd been working up to and everything just kind of culminated and came together. And it was
Right.
like, I like doing this, I like doing this, I like doing this, and it
Exactly.
all it all is covered under affiliate marketing. And then I found HBA,
Hmm.
and I was like, wow, HBA and a family that does this sort of thing that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. And now you're getting the best of both worlds. And
Right.
so,
Because, yeah, I just don't mean to interrupt, but you mentioned
no,
HBA. It stands for Home Business Academy, an amazing affiliate program that not only helps people have residual income, but it also actually helps them to promote whatever business they're in.
right,
And the fact that you also mentioned legal and something that I know about you that I find is so important. I love you to talk about the one product that you introduced to me in a way that kind of opened my eyes and said, wow, I really need to look into this more. It's an area that most people don't want to talk about. But if we don't do this, we can cause quite a bit of chaos when we leave this earth, and that is
right,
wills. So tell me about that because
yes,
I'm hoping my audience really absorbs this information you're going to say, because it really got me, and it is so important, more important than I think we realize. So back to you.
Well, I always tell people that wills are the last love letter to your family.
Mm,
And you when I heard about what you're going to do as your podcast as far as mindset, there's so many different ways in our life that we're conditioned to do something just one way, or just we have to do this. And I believe that attorneys is that one way. And the first thing that you have to think about is how most most of the time we are conditioned that when you have to use an attorney, it's going to cost you a lot of what?
mm-hmm.
Money. And that's just in our mind. And
Right.
that's what we think about that. And we're
Mm-hmm.
like, most of the time we check our wallets before we check our rights.
Right.
And
Exactly. Oh
that's
my God, I
wrong.
can't afford an attorney. Right. Exactly.
Exactly. And so that's exactly the way we think. And uh, so I got involved with this company about 23 years ago when I
Mm,
was selling real estate. And when I was selling real estate, it seemed like everything that I had to, whenever someone would come to me, they were, there was a problem that popped up, and I was like, I don't know the answer to that problem.
mm-hmm.
And it was I always called it the squirrely factor. It seemed like all the squirrely people came to me.
Oh,
I never got the guy that just was just straightforward, bought something, sold something. I got the guy that's squirrely and they had to go under a rock and everything else and go around the corner. And you're like, I'm going to get sued. So I looked for an attorney and I found this company that's been around since the 70s. And it was started by an accident. And one of the things that they do is they help people with their wills because they find out that that's very important, because it's the last love letter that you're going to leave your family. It's something that you're going to say, okay, this is exactly what I want done with what I've accumulated in my life. Uh, and if you don't have that, you got to understand there's going to be somebody that's going to dictate what's going to happen with everything that you've done, everything that you've built, everything that you may receive just because. We had a young man that was 18 years old that got hit by a city truck, and that city truck, this is how important a will is. Uh, he was hit by a city truck and killed instantly. Now that's very devastating on itself, but the part that really comes through is that he was awarded an estate, and it was in the millions. And because he didn't have a will in place, his parents are the only ones that's living. His mother got half, his father got half. His father never ever saw him grow up, never was in his life. He left before he was born, and yet he got half of what his estate was in the millions.
mm.
Now, that's because he didn't have anything in place. So it's very important that you have something, even if you don't think that you have anything, that
Well, at, at
you have your name.
18, I think you probably think you're immortal. So it's probably not even a thought
Exactly.
you might have. And that's unfortunate. And I think it is so important. You really brought to light to a lot of people that way. I really need to look into this, because anything can happen at any moment. And unless you don't have a penny, you want to make sure anything that you hold really personal to yourself goes to the people you love and care about.
Right.
And
And that's your
I
mindset. See, that's the thing. But
yeah,
you back to your mindset. We're conditioned to think like that. 18, we don't have anything, but we do. We have our name, because this young man, he didn't have anything as far as money or wealth or anything like that. But when his estate came about, he did have something. His name was, it
wow,
stopped, and it's just not fair that the father that didn't do anything other than the first thing was
right.
rewarded.
It seems out of balance, and that's unfortunate. And maybe it's to teach us lessons that things like that have can happen, and that isn't what we want to have happen to us.
Right.
So
Right.
let me ask you, I think we're probably touching on a little bit of some of the challenge that people have around, well, maybe I should ask this differently. What have been some of your biggest challenges that you faced early on starting the business and overcoming them within, promoting your businesses?
Well, I'm one of those. I'm one of those. Well, yeah, I'm a man. I have to say this, and I don't want to. There's some men out there that are really good, but I'm that type of guy that grabs a bike and I take the directions and I put them over here, and then I start thinking, oh, I can put this wheel here and put this wheel here, and hopefully it all comes together correctly without leaving any bolts and screws.
Hey.
So I can really relate to some of these commercials. There, the guys make a table and it breaks, and you know, uh, stuff goes everywhere. I can relate because there was parts left over because we don't like to take direction well. I guess I should put it that way.
Okay,
you know.
okay. Well, it's interesting. I was listening to Brian Tracy's audiobook called Psychology of Success. And
Hmm.
he says, actually, people, the farmers, maybe not given a very good reputation of being the brightest people. He says, but you don't need to be the brightest person in the world because they follow direction. They're hungry to do what is important. And if you tell them, do A, B, and C, they do A, B, and C. So he's saying that basically, maybe we need to become a little bit more adaptable, like not know everything. Let's, kind of say, I don't know anything. I don't know everything about this business, and just kind of be a follower for the beginning till you understand or you believe in it. And did I just lose you, Robert? Are you there? Because you just went off my screen. I think we may have lost Robert. Hopefully he can get back on. Oh my goodness, because I am still connected, but he may have disconnected. But let me just talk with you folks a little bit about that because I thought that was kind of interesting. It sort of sounds like an insult. However, if we can be open to instructions and take the mindset of that we don't know everything. We do not know everything. And that when we can be a sponge to learn, we can find out that we will learn something that we didn't know. They say we know what we know, and then we know what we don't know. But the largest percentage is that we do not know what we do not know. And so, one of my takeaways with learning is that always be open to learning. Okay, hold on. He's back. All right. Robert, you there? I see you back. Are you in? You should be here. Maybe it's taking a second. So I'll just continue. And I have a couple of additional questions I want to ask you, and I'm sure others are also very interested in hearing about them as well. So just let me know when you get connected again here. Are you back? I see the iPhone.
There we
Okay.
go. How's that?
Hey, you're
Can you see
back.
me?
Let me see if
I'm so
I can.
sorry.
No, that's all right. You just kind of walked out on me.
Try we. That's how us men are when you just tell us that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, let me just try this again and see if I can get you back in. Ah, here you are. There
There we
you
are. There
go.
we are.
It was just temporary.
Yeah, my
Um,
actual my iPhone got hot. That's what it was. I didn't know that it
oh
just
my
shut
gosh.
off.
Oh, that's so funny. So let me
Yes.
ask you a question here. Would you have one of your favorite success stories of a situation where, you felt you really made a difference to one of your clients or affiliate?
Oh yes. Yeah. There's so many. There's so many. I remember there was a young lady that uh, she ran a kitchen, and I talked to her and her staff, and she came to me and she said, "Thank you so much for coming and allowing me to get this service."
Mm.
And I said, "Can you share with me?" And she goes, "Well, my husband passed away, and in our will, we had a clause that said that the truck and the car that we just bought would be paid off, and that because once he passed away, there was a clause in the contract that they signed with the auto dealership
Hmm.
that stated they still owed on the vehicles. And they had a clause in their wills that said that they had to, it got paid off. And their attorneys actually caught this, and they fought on their behalf to where she didn't have to pay for these uh, vehicles. And that was one of the big ones that we've had. I've actually had a lot of the stuff with the vehicles.
Oh,
Just
okay,
having an
yeah.
attorney. Just having an attorney. Because I've also had some nightmares too of people that decided, well, I don't need this $29-$30 service per month. I need, I'll pay whenever I can pay. And because most people don't understand, I mean, you can pay $30 a month, or you can pay $300 an hour, or $500 an
Mm-hmm.
hour, and it just
Yep.
doesn't make sense. It doesn't, pennies on the dollar opposed to hundreds of dollars on the hour. And so it's just a better way of having an attorney to be able to call. And so,
Yeah, because
I,
I think Zig Ziglar was giving some selling training, and he was talking to an elderly couple, and they were looking at buying a car, and they were looking at buying the used car because it
mhm,
was cheaper. And he said, okay, what is holding you back from buying the new car? Is it the price or the cost? Because most cases people will hold back from doing things because of the price, not
right,
thinking of what the cost will be, because it's a used car. There's a good chance that it's getting older and it's going to need additional repairs, and that in the
yep,
end may end up costing them more. They get stuck on the side of the road, they get a tow truck, and that's going to cost them to get the tow truck, and so on and so on and so on. Where if they
exactly,
And so yeah, so we really have to think about not just the dollar amount, but what is it going to cost me, my peace of mind. A will is going to give
right.
you peace of mind knowing that people, when you leave, are going to be well taken care of, that certain burdens aren't going to be on them. And it's not what we think about most times about a will, because we're not wanting to talk about a death or the loss of someone. But what we don't
Right.
talk about is the burden it puts on the people who are left behind. And I know you probably have
Well,
tons of
they
stories about
say, yeah, they say 9 out of 10 people don't have a will because of cost. And so if you take that cost off the table
that. Right.
and you say, okay, we're going to give you a will for, you're going to have all these attorneys. You can have, their own. Basically, you can pick up the phone and call them at any time. And you're looking at $30 a month for the family, not just you, but for the
Mm-hmm.
family. That's you, your spouse, your kids, everybody. They're all covered under this. Uh, and you get that will as well. It takes it off the table. Not just the will, the living will, the durable power of attorney, that all comes with it. And those are just, I mean, you're looking $1,500 to $2,000 just for an average. And that's what you get for you $30 a month. And it's month to month. I mean, the service that we provide for that company, it's such a good service because it is month to month.
Right.
Most of these insurances or most of these things that you get these days, they're going to say, well, we're going to go for a year because we want to lock you in. We hope you
Mm-hmm.
forget about it, sit it over, and it's just coming out of your paycheck. And next thing you're not really using it. We're going to
Right.
say, hey, if we do something that we say that we can't do, that's why I like HBA, because HBA does that same thing. HBA says, let's under promise but over deliver,
It's an
and let's give them
amazing,
something a little extra. Yeah, let's do more for what we're doing. And that's, if you start living life like that, if you start living life with saying, okay, I'm not just going to mow this lady's yard. I'm going to mow this lady's yard. I'm going to trim. I'm going to take the trash. I'm going to pull it all up. I'm going to do what God intended us to do, is give 110%. Don't give a 70%. Don't give
yeah,
an 80%. Don't even give a 90%. Go above and beyond. And that's what HBA does. That's what Legal Shield does. Legal Shield does that same thing, to where
absolutely.
they
It's a
say, okay,
beautiful yeah. It's a beautiful
yeah,
correlation. And I think you kind of dropped on us those words of wisdom that um I think are so important to our viewers to be made aware and to kind of
yeah,
evaluate what you're thinking is important in your priorities when a will can be extremely important. And now there's a way to do it on a lower cost basis as well. And now you have peace of mind and your family won't be burdened with
right.
an unexpected situation. And I just want to thank you for everything you said because it made me so much more aware of what um, I need to do and to do it for the family. And I'm going to be putting your
Right.
link at the bottom. So, folks, when you finish listening, you can get Robert's link, you can connect with him, you can have a conversation with him about what he's talking about, because that is also something else I would like for you to have access to, in addition to the link for Home Business Academy. Because if you are looking to free yourself from the 9 to 5 or just do something part time, um, we do have an awful incredible product that will help you market
Yes.
and really do it in a way that you get rewarded to share about it with others that might be wanting the same thing. But in addition, you are going to be benefiting. And um, I feel that you don't need to be terribly technical in order to do what this tool can do for you, because the training, the amazing community is like there for you every second of the day. If you have a problem, you're trying to figure out how to do one or two little things, they're going to show you step by step. They'll do a Zoom with you, they'll step you through it. And before you know it, you'll have what you need to start marketing whatever it is you have. And it's no different for Robert to promote his business and get it out there. It's just in a tremendous way to not only make residual income, but promote something that's valuable to everyone, important for everyone. So I want to thank you, Robert. And if you have some last
Right.
words, please share. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just,
I
go
would
ahead.
just say, I would just say that, it's we need to. I know that every morning we get on that our call, and there's a young lady. I believe she's from New Jersey. Her name's Wanda,
Oh,
and
she's Rhode
Wanda always
Island. She's
says
from Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Oh, okay. Oh, Rhode Island. She kind of had that accent,
She does. I
and
asked her about that. It's so funny. And she says, no, she's always lived in Rhode Island. I think they migrated over to Rhode Island.
yeah, but she's just awesome, and she says do something for somebody, don't knowing that they can't repay you.
Yes.
And you know what? In the Bible, it tells us, for us to get all joy, is to tell people about Jesus. It's
Mm-hmm.
to do something for somebody and knowing that they can't repay
Can't
you.
repay you. And
And
that is the most beautiful.
it is, and we've come to the point where we stop doing that. And if we start doing that more and more and more, guess what? Anything that's ailing us, anything that's causing us problems, it's going to go away. I believe that God's going to
Absolutely.
move in different ways because we're helping our fellow man. Because there's only two commandments:
No.
love your God and love your
Okay.
neighbor.
And
And so I
doing
would
that.
tell you to do that.
Oh, absolutely. And going that extra mile, like you were talking about earlier, that to me has been my philosophy. It's kind of the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do to you, and go
Hmm.
that extra mile with people. It, in the end, to me, it's so fulfilling knowing you've done that for someone. And in the end, you're
Right.
going to also get rewarded for it. It may not be instantaneous, but you will be rewarded. So if you're all
Yes.
about getting rewards, it will happen. Don't do it only because you'll be rewarded, but that you will be rewarded. And just give your heart, be caring, kind to people. And I
Yes.
so appreciate your time, Robert. It's been a joy. And folks, again, you'll see the links for Robert so you can connect with him and get more information about setting up a will and how you might want to do that. Also, about the vehicle that will help you market if you're looking for your own business and you're looking to have become an entrepreneur. This business is like none other. It's not only that the product is inexpensive yet so feature rich, it is the community and the family behind it that these folks will do and always go out of their way to help you be successful. And that's what, in the end, I want for all of you, so that you can dabble around with your multi dimensions. And again, thank
Yes.
you again. All right. And just let you know, we've got another fabulous guest next week. And he's an attorney who became an affiliate marketer. He's retired. So I think that might also interest you and get you coming back. So I will see you next week. Robert, again, thank you terribly. And I just
Thank you,
love you.
Jesse.
So wonderful to have your friendship. And we will see you the next
Oh,
time.
same for me.
Take
All
care.
right. Y'all be good.
Yes, take
Have
care.
a
Bye
blessed
bye.
week. Happy Thanksgiving.